My intro, too bad you ain't fucking getting one. Okay, basically, effing arcade cabs, right? I figured I'd talk about them because... No proper intro, let's just get into it. This is my first one. I got it 2019. Basically, I was just going on eBay a lot, just looking at video game stuff, because I like buying games, I like reading about games, talking about games, actually playing games, take it or leave it. I found this cab. It was £45, but without the monitor, it was £35. I got it with the monitor because I didn't want to have to ask the person to take it out for me. This isn't the monitor it came with. It came with a Garbo TV, I think, like an old shitty TV that was on top of this. I took that out because it was garbage. Also, the power cable was like hardwired in. It had to go all the way, and then it came out the back of the cab. So it's terrible. I got it fixed now. I got a nice proper little 4x3 LCD. I've put it in. Obviously a CRT would be nice. This is clearly a CRT cab, but like... eh. So anyway, yeah. I bought it, I picked it up, and then the first thing I used it for was I just stuck a laptop in the bottom of it, and it, because it came with a mini pack, and I played MAME on it. It worked fine. And then I made a mistake. I bought an effing Naomi. Okay, so context, right? This thing, first off, is massive. This is a Naomi. It's essentially like a Dreamcast, but it's a Dreamcast for arcade cabs. You probably already know that. If not, whatever. Now you do. So I got this on a whim. I think with Christmas money, late 2019, and it going with one game and all the artwork. I've since taken the artwork off because. Game, artwork, that's cool. I got it all wired up, it played fine. It was a great Virtua Tennis cab. I wanted to get other games to Naomi. The problem is, they're effing expensive, mate. So over here we have the stuff. I got the DIM board, which is like, it goes in like a cartridge, and then there's a plug, and in the plug, there's a disc drive, mate, and the games come on discs. Just like the Dreamcast, GD-ROMs. So, I got all the stuff at good prices, and I was being like, yeah, let's get even more games on it. Let's get like, I got Sports Jam, and I was going to get the Gundam game and a few others. The problem is, it never effing worked. It just couldn't see the DIM board. I don't know if the DIM board was dead, I don't know if the Naomi, I don't know. I've heard it might be because of the power. Maybe it's like not, I don't effing know. I've kind of given up by now, because with arcade cabs, I flip-flop a lot. It's like, oh, let's get a fully vintage thing, that'd be cool, and then it's like, well, I can just emulate all of it. Naomi especially, I can just emulate all of it, so it's like, why bother? But hey, I still have this board for now. It's pretty cool to have. I don't know if I'm going to keep using it, but yeah. I'll show you inside the cab now. This entire shed is a mess, by the way, ignore that. I can't get a good angle, because, again, it's very cramped, but whatever. Basically, normally you have a door under here, and that's where you get it. This cab... look at this shit, mate. Whoa. So it goes up like this, gets trapped on everything. And it goes up here, bangs on the wall, and then you stick these guys out. It's meant to have two. There's two here, but since this is the newest layout of the weird little home arcade, and this ceiling yeah, it's way too close, so I can't do it. Give me a second. So yeah, the best I can do is one. Here you can see our janky monitor mount. It's just some wood, mate. But hey, it works, and I'll take it. That's a lighting. I don't have that turned on. It's not really necessary to light the marquee. And there's your area down there. You can't see it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's just a big effing piece of nothing. But yeah, you can see this here. The monitor power cable was just stuck there for the longest time. And then I got it out as I don't want to do that, so I got a power strip in there now. They've had the Naomi in there. I have a 16-1 jammer board I've had in there as well. I could run a PC, and I don't care enough. But yeah, it's cool, it's neat. I never got the speakers wired up. I just didn't, but I've had other speakers in the bottom, and it sounds fine. In terms of controls, these came with it. I think it's like Suzo hat. It's American-style buttons, which is weird, because this is clearly... kind of a candy cab? I don't know. Like, if you look at the buttons and joysticks, these are clearly Western style. They're nice. But then, the cab itself is kind of like a candy. It says here, it's a Cyberview cab, which was apparently like a betting terminal or a gambling thing. So some company must have like bought them and then reskinned them to be Street Fighter themed. I've seen other cabs, other arcade cabs with this same artwork. So a company must have done that at some point. But yeah, this reminds me a lot of the Andamiro Joyro cabs. They look similar, but they're not. They're cyber view, which is a thing, I guess. But yeah, I have this. Also, yeah, this was meant to be a CRT. It was meant to be a touchscreen CRT because there's no border here. It's just glass. Speaking of touchscreen CRTs, mate, I got it. That's the Megatouch, mate. So, what is this thing? Among Us joke. Yeah, the Megatouch. I got this cab for £15 in like 2021, 22, I forget exactly. But yeah, £15 on Facebook Marketplace, but sold as is. It came complete. It had everything it needed. There was nothing, and it had a working CRT. The only problem is, I didn't turn on, but give me a second. Let me just open it up there for you, mates. So yeah, it opens up the same way. And then you pull out this tray here. And then there's your stuff. I just realised there's no stuff in it. But yeah, no. The thing is, it's meant to keep itself up, but again, the ceiling's so short that you can't. So you just get a block of wood there, mate, and you stick it here, and then you hope it doesn't fall and crush your head. So anyway, there was a PC in here. I've since taken the motherboard out. Look, there it is. But yeah, it had everything it needed except the power supply. The power supply was dead. Oh, there's a screwdriver here. So I took the power supply that I already had, just lying around. I think I was using it for the Naomi. I put it in, and it didn't turn on. So then I plugged in a bunch of cables that were disconnected, and then turned it on. And then it beeped at me. So then I reseated the RAM, and then it turned on fine. It had an issue where I was running the wrong software version. I connected some more things, worked fine. I could play video games on it by touching the screen. Isn't that cool? The coin slot worked. It was old. It had a fluorescent tube in here. It was bad, and it even has a little coin thing. It's being held up currently, but it had a bunch of 10p's in it. That's all neat. Look at the amount of plays it's gotten. This was broken, so I don't actually know if that's accurate. But yeah, this entire thing, Megatouch as a concept, is so weird. I'd love to talk about it more at a time. It's like it went above and beyond for a really shitty touchscreen thing. Because this is like, you saw the marquee on this. Yeah, mate. 2004. Megatouch is like early 90s. It started. The Force line, which is arguably the peak, started in like 99, 2000, 2001. I don't exactly know. I'm going to say 2001. This cab is from about 2003, 2004, because it did that annoying thing where it says 2004 even though it's 2003, whatever. That made a noise. I shouldn't hit it that hard. Anyway, so I was playing on it, having a great time, and then it died. Specifically, it has a touch controller board, right? Let me show you. So this little guy here, right, that's a touch controller. That controls the touch input. It basically senses the touch and it sends it to the PC. It sends it via serial. And if you don't know what serial looks like... Yeah, see, look, I have a spare. Yeah, in case you didn't know what serial looks like, it looks like this. It's this connector. It's like VGA, but in reverse. I'm making all the old people feel old because they've never seen this just in regular PC use. Anyway... So, the serial port on the motherboard died because it does that because it's a very old motherboard and the capacitors all went bad. However, in the new versions of the software, like 2006 onwards, they introduced USB touch controllers. So then I bought a USB touch controller, which is currently in the back of this cab, and also a software upgrade, which is like a hard drive and a security dongle. Give me a second. Yeah, so the games is literally just an effing hard drive. Yeah, I always use this cab to just put crap because it works. But yeah, it's just a hard drive, and then this is your security dongle. It's an effing button cell battery, and it has like data on it. It's basically like Pokemon, and it's equally volatile because apparently these batteries go bleh, and then you can get a no battery, no dongle thing, but then people say the no dongle thing's bad, and you should get a dongle, and then you should do a So yeah, I got an upgrade. This is my original drive, which is from 2000. Well, it says 2002, but it's actually 2003, despite the fact the marquee is 2004, and inside the cab there was discs and a marquee 2005, whatever. It was running 2003, I upgraded to 2007, which is arguably one of the best versions. Actually, it's like probably 2009 or something, I don't know. But yeah, got it up to 2007, which was Pog. I was playing it, it was great. Then I found out they used to connect online, There is still a way to connect them online, but you need an American version. So I bought an American drive for 2008, I put it on here, I was playing online, it was great, and then the CRT died on me. Yeah, basically, for a while I was just playing it and it was mostly fine, and then like, it fizzed or did a little bit, but like, it was fine, I was just playing, it's probably just because it's cold. And one day I turned it on, it didn't turn on, I was like, huh, that's weird, oh well, whatever, I'll go back to it another day. I went back to it another day, and it did the thing, roll the clip. That's not good. So yeah, at this point, I was just like, okay, that's bad. I'm going to not touch this, because in the CRT, I posted around, apparently the chassis is bad. I need to fix the chassis, but like, look at this, man. Look at all of that. I don't want to touch that. I might get an electric shock. So I need to do it once I'm a bit braver and also have space, because this is the entire shed, by the way. It's this wall to there. And that's it. So I'm very tight. There's no way I can move this out until like... Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this thing was just kind of like dead for a while. But it doesn't matter, because I bought a second Megatouch cab. Don't ask why it looks like that. Yeah, so this has been the one I've been working on most recently. It is another Force cab, but it is a Fusion. This is a classic. And I have the thing is down here. So basically, it lifts up like the others, but instead of a thing, it uses magic. It uses magic, and that's how it stays up. But as a result, the magic gets weaker over time. So if I have the full frontal bit on it, then it gets like all weighed down, and then it can't. The magic doesn't work anymore. So I took it off, and you can see it's a bit of a rat's nest, because basically I bought this, I turned it on, and it went boom. It had the original power supply. Instead of being dead, it died right as I turned it on. I turned it on, and it went boom. And then our entire house tripped. It's just made everything shut down. None of the power worked. It all tripped. Luckily, no fire. But like, I don't know if it damaged this cab or not. It might have. So anyway, the original power supply was gone, which was a bit of an issue because the other one I was using this generic power supply. Because in this cab, all you need. Yeah, give me a second, mate. All the power goes through one 20-pin plug. You just plug it in here, and then it goes everywhere else and to the motherboard. It's all hunky dory. However, in this cab, the power supply had like 5 connectors on it. It had to power the I/O board and the motherboard and the fans and the monitor, because it has a monitor, and it's not just a VGA monitor, it's a special monitor. Look at these special connections and boards and crap. So basically, I tried turning it on and it didn't work. So then, eventually, I was like, oh, I need to splice the connector for the I/O board, which is this. Give me a second, mate. I just get it out. I just get it out. I'll just get it out. Okay, yeah. This connector. I needed this, which is proprietary, and this blue cable here. That's negative 5 volt. As in, yeah, there's your 5 volt, and there's your negative 5 volt. And if you look at modern power supplies, they don't have negative 5 volt. Which meant I couldn't just splice it with a normal thing. I had to use my jammer power supply from this cab and then splice that from the original power supply, plug it all in. Yeah, mate, just go back in there for me. Just go back in there. Just go. So yeah, I had to do all of that, and then I turned it on, and then it didn't work still, because like, not only was all of this, the monitor might just be dead. I think it's dead. This is a 15-year-old backlit monitor, and yeah, this is very weird, and it gets power from the I/O board of the game, whatever. So the monitor's dead, and it just doesn't turn on. There's no light in it, just like me. So I'm thinking, whatever, I have a 4x3 monitor, and the touch screen is just this layer of glass, so you can just, yeah. You could take that off, stick it to a new monitor, because this thing just does VGA out. It's just VGA. So that's cool, I thought. I'll get it working, just plugged into an external monitor, like sitting here, and then we're all good. I didn't get it working. I don't know what's wrong with it. Whatever. So basically with arcade stuff, I work on it for like a few weeks, and then if it doesn't work by then, I just give up and just leave it for like 6 months, just rotting in my shed until eventually I decide, let's fix it. So I got this Among Us thing sitting here. which is not working. I got this thing sitting here, which could start a fire if I turn it on. I got this thing, which technically works, but like, the Naomi's taken out of it, the power supply's taken out of it. Literally everything that would have worked, I've taken out to use for other stuff. And also, it's just a joystick cab. I have a fight stick in my room I can use on emulators. This is all kind of pointless. Ultimately, I probably will get rid of this soon, because I need the space for other things, which I will probably not get onto, but whatever. I wanted to keep at least one of these two, but friggin' I don't know, I gotta fix them first. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this cab cost me $50 on eBay, and then another 50 for delivery, which is more than I spent on that thing, and that thing actually worked at some point, but whatever. Yeah, I have a garage as well as a shed. Ooh, privilege, wee. Yeah, I got this cab. It's going to be hard to film this because it's really effing dark, but bear with me. Yeah, just don't worry about this. That's Bob. Anyway, this is a Need for Speed cabinet, and my camera is not doing good because there's no lights because I'm shutting the door. I got this in 2020 because I really wanted a racing game cab because this was when I cared about racing games. That's a car. Originally, I wanted to get a Sega touring car cab so I could use it for like all the Sega games. I saw one. The seller had like a big bulk lot of different racing game cabs, and I was like, hey, can I get the Sega touring car? They said, no, it's sold. We have these other ones. Do you want it? And I was like, which one should I get? I ended up getting this one. They had an Underground twin and a Carbon twin, because Need for Speed, the arcade version, had Need for Speed GT, Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed Carbon. Carbon's the last one. I was like, well, let's get this one, because the Underground cabs didn't even have effing wheels. Look at this one. That's a wheel. I didn't want to have to buy a wheel. So I got the cab. It was $100. All of this. And yeah, look, it came on a shipping crate. I've talked about this before. But yeah, the cab was in Great Yarmouth. I wasn't going to drive all the way up there in a hired van when the guy was offering me, I think it was like $40 to ship it. So 140 overall, which by the way, is less than a PS4 cost at the time. So yeah, I got the cab. And at first, I was like, let's convert it. I wanted to do like either a Sega Ring series motherboard or a Limburg, so I could play like, I don't know, Initial D or whatever. I got as far as buying a ring edge, and then I never put it in here. I never even got that thing working, but anyway. So it came with a PC, so I was like, okay, well, there's the drive for Carbon, let's just put that away. Let's put a new drive in it, run Windows, see what we can do. Best I got, the wheel turned, and that's it. Because if I go around the back, you can see, well, you can't see because I've removed them, but the I/O board is here, and here's the driving board. The wheel connects here, and then all the buttons and the pedals for some reason connect here. So this board hooks up to Windows fine, there are drivers for it. The I/O board, less so. So I'd have to rewire it if I wanted to connect it to Windows anyway, and recently I tried doing that with an Arduino, it didn't work. I tried doing it with the board for my PS4 wheel. It worked, but the wheel was reversed, it never got the pedals working. And even then, at this point, I'm just like, I'm so tired of this. But before I did that, I went to Great Yarmouth, played on a Need for Speed Carbon cab. Look, check the video, it's actually a good video I made, whatever, shh. So then I was like, okay, let's actually run Need for Speed on it. So I had the PC, so then I was like, okay, let's run Underground, because that's cheaper to buy. So I bought the discs for Underground, I bought the dongle for Underground, I got it on the computer running, and the I/O didn't work because Carbon uses a newer I/O board, and it wouldn't work on Underground. Okay, fine. I bought the dongle for Need for Speed Carbon, brand new from Global VR, which I'm not proud to say because that thing was effing expensive. That was like all my Christmas money for 2021, I think. So then, I put the dongle in, the game boots, I/O still doesn't work. I'm thinking, okay, maybe the I/O board's just dead. Okay, why is it dead? Capacitors. So I try to replace the capacitors, and it doesn't work. So then I'm just like, maybe I should buy a new I/O board. I/O boards are effing expensive. There is no way in hell I'm buying a new one. If anyone's selling I/O boards for this, hit me up, because if not, then I'm going to effing trash this cab, because honestly, I don't need this giant thing just for racing games. I have a wheel. I'd much rather just use a wheel, but it is cool. It's cool to have. Also, the Need for Speed arcade games are kind of mid, to be honest. Like, they're cool, especially as a piece of history. I'd love to do a video talking about them at length at some point, but like, nah. Cab's cool though, let's just go over a tour quickly. This is a Need for Speed GT cab, the very first type they made. However, this was meant to be a CRT. It is not. It is a widescreen LCD with like stuff at the top and the bottom getting in the way, whatever. The seat, this is cool because this is a seat Midway used for a lot of their games. This entire cab is basically the same one from San Francisco Rush 2049, which is cool. It's got buttons, that's cool. It's got This is interesting because some cabs that were upgraded have a nitrous button here, but mine is here. It's got the 6-speed shifter, which is POG, and no card reader. The card reader is meant to be here, doesn't have one, boo, whatever. It's weird because a lot of the artwork's carbon. The yellow's carbon, but then that review is from Need for Speed GT. Anyway, artwork's on this side, there's none on that side, so this is the left half of a twin. Unlike Sega games, doesn't matter who's which on the twin. They're just completely separate cabs. There's no master slave or anything. As I showed before, the Global VR Mini I/O board here. There's your steering board. That's your force feedback. There's an audio amp. That's a very crackly. Power supply. There's your monitor. And then down here, there's stuff. It's very standard. It's a game. I've wasted so much time working on this, and it didn't work. I never got it working. I've never been able to just play a game on it. At this point, I don't know if I ever will. I'm thinking like, man, this is such a waste of money. Oh, and quickly, this is my 4-panel setup, mostly for ITG, but I can play DDR on if I want to. LTech. I got this on Facebook for £100. Used, I had to drive to get it, but it's alright. It's the old version, it's not 1000 Hz, but I penny modded it, it works fine for me. That TV's garbage. The old one I had was much bigger, but it was even worse, it was basically dying, rolled the clip.
It seems like this area of the screen burns in whatever was last there. This isn't a Windows thing, that's just the screen that does that, but this section's fine.
But yeah, this one, it ghosts a lot, but it plays. This is the PC I'm using right now. I used to use the PC I got with the Carbon cab, but this one's a bit newer, a bit better. I mean, it's still about 10 years old, but hey, it runs the game, it runs okay. And like, DVR's so non-intensive, it doesn't matter. These speakers, these were being chucked out from just somewhere, and I just picked them up. They were free. That's so pog. Same with those drum pads. I got those recently. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to use them. Same with these 2 monitors. So much stuff I've gone for free. I basically like committing daylight robbery just for fun. But yeah, basically, I'd use the keyboard, and here's the pad. This chair, I'd use the bar. And it was a cozy little setup. I got really good at ITG at some point, and now my head hurts so bad whenever I play them, my eyes ghost so bad, I actually can't play rhythm games anymore. So this entire setup is kind of not being used right now. I also got a Kinect, because I wanted to play Dance Evolution, because I'm really naughty, and you can run it on regular PCs. Don't tell anyone I said that. I don't endorse data. Google searches. Anyway, so yeah, I got a Kinect, and I got this thing that makes it like wide angle, so it actually works. And Dance Evo is a really fun game. I absolutely rate it. It is a very fun game. Yeah, that's it. That's all my games. I'm probably going to be selling all of these within the next few months because like I don't actually use any of them. They're massive money pits. I don't know. What do you want from me? Bye.